The star of the hit Netflix show Tiger King is asking President Trump for a pardon. CBS News has exclusively obtained the final version of the application Joe Exotic will submit to the White House. Earlier this year, Exotic, whose legal name, by the way, is Joseph Maldonado, big difference, was sentenced to 22 years in prison. Now, a jury convicted him for a murder-for-hire plot and for illegally selling and killing tigers. Paula Reed has seen his application. Paula, I remember when the president was actually asked about a pardon during a White House briefing, and it seemed so far-fetched at the time. Now, maybe not so much. So you've seen the application. What'd you learn?
You never know what to expect here at the White House, Gayle. The president at that time, he said he'd look into it. Yeah. And I have read the handwritten letter that Joe Exotic sent to President Trump from prison. He makes a direct appeal to President Trump's ego. He tells the president that he is his hero. And interestingly, he invokes the president's criticism of federal investigators. He tells the president, quote, "I have seen what they do to you," a reference, of course, to the president's criticism of the Russia investigation. Now, in the actual pardon application, his lawyers argue that Joe Exotic was just some, quote, gay, gun-toting redneck in Oklahoma before his recent fame. They argue he didn't get a fair trial. He didn't get a robust defense. That's why they're arguing for clemency. Will this work? Well, usually you have to wait 5 years before you even apply for a pardon. Joe Exotic is asking for that to be waived. And we've seen with President Trump, he has a history of granting clemency to celebrities or those with celebrity advocates and those who are politically aligned with his views. Now, we expect that the physical copy of this pardon application will be hand-delivered to the White House as soon as tomorrow. Tony?
Very interesting, Paula. Thank you very much. This morning, we're also hearing new details about the mystery at the heart of Tiger King. In that Netflix series, Joe Exotic accuses big cat activist Carole Baskin of murdering her former husband. Don Lewis, Baskin's second husband, disappeared in 1997. Now, 23 years later, a woman says she may know what happened to him. Richard Schlesinger spoke with the woman in her first TV interview for tonight's special 48 Hours Suspicion series premiere.
Even if you haven't watched TV during this time of COVID, chances are you've heard of the Netflix series Tiger King, like it or not.
It centers around Joe Exotic, an Oklahoma-based animal cat owner, and his sworn enemy, Carole Baskin.
Julie Miller is a senior writer at Vanity Fair.
Joe Exotic is this wild, cartoonish, flamboyant, mulleted, tattooed, gun-toting, large animal owner. Carole's more a hippie, new age, wears flower crowns.
Hey, all you cool cats and kittens.
The fight between the two ignited online when Carole tried to shut down Joe Exotic's amateur zoo and his lucrative business of taking tiger cubs around the country and charging people to take pictures with them. But there was more to this show. There was a sensational allegation of murder.
In 1997, Carole's second husband, Don Lewis, disappeared under very mysterious circumstances. There have been all sorts of theories.
The most bizarre theory, which Mr. Exotic put on his YouTube channel, is that Carole murdered her husband and disposed of his body in a particularly unusual way.
That she had her husband ground up in a meat grinder and fed them to the animals.
He illustrated his allegation with his idea of a Carole look-alike in a music video he produced. Mama's got some treats for you. That allegation sparked an internet frenzy. Carole Baskin has denied having any involvement in Don Lewis's disappearance, and the local sheriff has said there are no suspects, but he hopes all the attention will change that. And tonight, for the first time on TV, 48 Hours speaks with Trish Farr Payne, who believes her ex-husband, Don Lewis's former handyman, Kenny Farr, may be connected to Don's disappearance.
He said, if you try to leave me again, I will put you in the grinder like I did Don.
In a meat grinder?
Yeah.
She also says that a freezer inexplicably showed up on her porch around the time of Don's disappearance and then vanished shortly after. We heard from Kenny Farr this morning. He said in an email that Trish's account is a, quote, outlandish lie. He says he cooperated with police at the time of Don's disappearance and took a polygraph. He said, quote, I had absolutely nothing to do with Don's disappearance.
Richard, Farpain says she went to the authorities years ago. Do we know what happened with that?
We don't, because the sheriff won't tell us about that, although he does say that there are no suspects or persons of interest in this case, despite all the attention.
I've got a second question that I think I know the answer to. Is it possible for a tiger to dispose of a body in this way?
You think you know the answer? What's the answer? No.
The answer is absolutely yes.
The tiger experts, and there are tiger experts, say that you couldn't just feed somebody to the tigers and not have anything left over. There'd be bones, there'd be some evidence somewhere. But they also say that the police didn't do a very good job of searching the place back in '97. So, you know, there's a lot of work to be done still on this one.
All right, Richard Schlesinger, thank you very much. We're looking forward to the show tonight.
Just think about all the elements of that. A meat grinder, a missing millionaire, Carole Baskin, who, by the way, guys, is on Dancing with the Stars, if you want to see her dancing skills.
Interesting.
She's on Dancing with the Stars.
I will say,
story.
knowing nothing about anything else, I went to Joe Exotic's ranch years ago, and I fed meat to his tigers, and from what I saw, a tiger can put away a lot of meat, human or otherwise.
What was your impression of him? Because back then, he wasn't well known. No. Now he's, you know, as they said, a mullet guy, the tattoos, gay, a sort of a rebel rouser. What was your impression back then?
His self-description from his pardon letter is pretty accurate. Yeah, I'm not going to repeat it.
Wow.
All right, you can see Richard's full report, and I'm sure you want to. It's called The Tiger King Mystery.
I do.
On the special 48-hour Suspicion series premiere that is tonight at 10, 9 Central, right here on CBS.
I'll be watching.